Hey, welcome back. Got my stretches on, and I'm ready to ride. Where are we riding today? Riding down here at Patrick Foote's place on the Foote family compound for off-road riders. I don't think that's actually the name of it. These are just the trails that Patrick's been building for some time and that Brennan trains on. And if you get an invite, you can ride it too. And I did get an invite. I didn't just show up. So we got a good crew out today. There's, of course, Patrick, who's taking us around. Right in front of me right now is Steve, and in front of him is Nick, and somewhere just behind me, laughing at me right now, is going to be Melissa and Stuart. So I kind of knocked the camera out of alignment for about 7 or 8 minutes, and so I'm just going to chop that out and we'll skip ahead. There's lots of good stuff to ride here. Some of it reminds me of the Brookside Loop back in Fredericton on the north side. A bit rough and choppy and some whoops over rocks. And then there's good ravines, which are kind of more like the McLeod Hill side of things. And there's a ton of log crossings, which isn't like much of anything that we had back in Fredericton, but hey, practice makes perfect. There is a ton of stuff, and we're going to ride a little farther than this and not as far as that, but it's going to be a long day and we're going to cover a lot of terrain, and if that made sense, well, you're doing better than I am and you're a couple drinks deeper than Steve. I took over 2 hours of video today, swapped out the batteries, and edited it down to this 14 minutes because I figured there's nobody, save a few with some really bizarre fetishes, that are going to watch 2 hours of this, although it's pretty cool to me. There's Stuart making the hill look easy. That beta really works well. I had a chance to ride some betas today. In fact, I swapped amongst an older one, a newer one, and a bunch of them. I gotta say, I really like the motors. They feel really good off the bottom end, and that's probably just a kart bike thing. The ergonomics, that's a more challenging one for me. I'm not sure. Vibration, a bit more than the old Kato, but you know what? It felt real good. This is a cool little spot. It's a bit of a waterfall with a pool, really natural kind of, I'm not going to say hot tub, but shaped like a hot tub. Probably 4 or 5 feet deep, and I was really tempted to jump in it. But no time for that. Let's keep riding. Like I said, there's a ton of diverse terrain. We've been rolling through ravines. Later on, we're going to run some double track. We run up a riverbed. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. This is pretty unique terrain, or at least the variety of it, all in one ride area. Yep, that looked like a straight down drop in from where I was sitting. This video is from about 2 weeks ago. I do end up riding this area again, and I kind of did invite myself down. I reached out to Patrick and let him know that my buddy Lance was coming, who races in the expert class with Brennan, and asked if we could come ride the area, and he was more than happy to show us around, which was awesome. We had a fantastic day of riding, loved it. Some really good riding in here, like I've already said. this was cool, like a little bit of a mini enduro cross where you get all these log crossings, and gives you good practice to, you know, work on those double blips. I need to work on keeping my feet on the pegs. Right here I'm going to get a little taste of the local foliage, and then we're going to drop down in the river, which is no place for this bike because it does not have a fan on it.
Basically this for a kilometer, and it just gets worse and bigger.
This bike's not for that.
As I was saying, it's fine for a little while. You end up working the clutch, the bike does get pretty hot. I've never boiled this bike over, so it seems to take it fairly well, but I don't want to torture it, and I don't have any protection on the head pipe. Not that I mind a couple dents here and there, but as Melissa was saying, I needed to channel my inner Billy Bolt, and I did not. I do like this kind of stuff, and if I had any kind of skills whatsoever, I'm sure I could float through it. Clearly, I do not have any of those skills whatsoever, and I am not floating through it, but you know what? We're making it.
I'm in a pickle now. I think I might just have to leave it here.
Being cause of a lot of things that happen?
Yeah. Okay, that might give me enough lift to get over.
Yeah, it's just funny.
It's probably pretty amusing to see me flopping around on the bike. There's a bit of a hole beside me there that I keep stepping into, and it's going up kind of halfway up my boot, but my feet stay dry. You see, these are still working despite how beat they are. I do have some new boots coming. I'll talk about those in another video. But it's either that, she's laughing at me, or she's just worried I'm going to stroke out here in the creek bed, and that's going to end the ride. Time for me to get out of the creek bed before I crush my head pipe or boil this bike. So up and out, let's go.
Oh!
There's Patrick demonstrating his skills and gets himself out of a bit of a tough spot there. His back tire was down in a pretty good hole. And then this here is actually Patrick, who had to go back to the house and get a bee suit because Melissa ran over a big hornet's nest and had to abandon her bike. And I thought I had video of it, but I didn't. I just got this.
We might go to Gastro Lake.
Say again? Oh, okay.
Yeah, not so fast there, Struggle Bunny. You got a little more to go. We've ridden for several hours to this point, or that point, but we end up going out to Gastro Lake here, and hit a few more things to make it a full day. That rock face looks a little more intimidating than it actually was. Being granite, you have wicked traction on it, so if you could get your front tire up, you could ride up it. Side-by-sides that were down by the beach had left before us, but we caught up to them here, and they were very gracious about letting us go by because it was extremely dusty. So that pretty much wraps up the ride. We're going to head back to Patrick's place. Full day, and I really appreciated meeting some new folks and getting out on this ride, and have subsequently been invited out by Stuart for a ride today that we did, which is where I got a chance to try out a bunch of betas, which was kind of cool. And had a ride with Andy Henniger, who's another local guy who knows the trails really well, and of course Nick and I have been out for a few rides. So I've got lots of riding in, and it's been really good.